Yo guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to yet another video. We don't have one, but we have two brand new motorcycles in our garage. God dang it. Anyway, gotta stop doing that. It's a lot of work to clean up. Now cut the crap. We got two of the best adventure motorcycles in our garage. And I've been really pushing the limits on these guys. Push it to the limit. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys all about it in today's video. Looks really good, right? Now, first things first, when it comes to emptying your bank account and pissing off that wife yet again for making a purchase that can make you just that slightly bit happier, we need to talk prices. We got 14,999 euros with this one. This is the 890. In case you didn't know, this is the 890. And we got 20,000 going on for the Adventure R. The Adventure S is just a little bit cheaper. Now, of course, as prices are going, yeah, always just give your dealer a call and hear them out. Now I do wonder the prices in your country. So if you can go to the KTM website or ask your dealer, whatever, let me know in the comments what country you're from and how much the 890R is and how much the 1290R is. I do wonder. 49, 20. They have to be really cheap in Austria. The country they were born, pretty sure they have to be cheaper there. Now, when it comes to engine, of course, you can already tell 890, 1290. We got the 1300cc LC8 engine. And this engine is also in the Super Duke R. Do I need to say more? Probably not. But I'm going to anyway. 160 horsepower and 138 newton meters of torque. That's a lot of torque and a lot of horsepower. Oh, and before I forget, it is the most compact, lightest and best performing engine in the segment. LC8, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Now, as for the beloved 890, 889 cc's of a parallel twin engine. So we do not have the V as the 1290, but we have the parallel one. 105 horsepower and 100 newton meters of torque. Now that is a lot less as a 1290, but make no mistake, this is a fast motorcycle.
But Mr. Smokey, why is it so fast if it's only got 100 horsepower?
Because it only weighs 197 kilograms. It's very light. Who the hell was that? Couldn't recognize him with his glasses on. As for the 1290, yeah. It's 220 kilograms. That's like a 24 kilogram difference. That's like having an ugly child strapped to your fender all the time. Hey, what's going on here? Now, when it comes to wheelies, I mean, one of the most important things you guys want to know, how does it wheelie? Well, I've been taking this out yesterday yet again to pop some wheelies. First gear, second gear, third gear, you can pop some wheelies. Third gear, not power wheelies anymore. You have to do some clutch wheelies at lower speeds, but it is possible. As for the 1290, even when doing like 100 kilometers an hour, even to 120 kilometers an hour, in third gear, you can even just clutch it up. I mean, that's how crazy that thing is. If you want to do some high-speed wheelies that you can also do with a Super Duke R, yeah, it's that one. Now, as for the off-road part, do you actually need 160 horsepower off-road? No, you don't. Can you use the full potential of those 160 horses off-road? Totally not. Do you actually need a big fat knobby tire this wide to dig like World War II trenches and shoot rocks out the back towards your friends at lightning speed? Absolutely. So yeah, the 1290 is way overpowered for off-road, but who cares? It's a blast. Now let's get over some details that I think that are important and you guys really should know. The screens are a massive difference. As the 1290 has this huge widescreen TV, you can watch Netflix on with a family of 5. The 890, however, has this tiny cute little screen, but I wish it could be a bit bigger. As for the 1290, as you can tell, you got a lot of wind coming straight into your face. So that means a lot of wind therapy. It's got this rally-inspired alien looking like, or a wasp or a bee screen that you can also like easily turn up, but that's it. It's not a lot. Now, when it comes to the little brother, as you can tell, it is perfectly fine. I've been taking this one on the highway as well. No matter what, I am on the highway, doing 120, that's the maximum speed we can do here. Gonna put the cruise control on with knobby tires, very stable, no wind whatsoever. There's like a little bit of wind on my chest. It's actually pretty good. I mean, knobby tires, very knobby tires on the highway. I mean, look at that. This thing is stable as can be. But as far as the screen goes, well, I have not yet found the secret button to adjust it. So I'm pretty sure it does not have an adjustable screen. But even on the highway, it's perfectly fine. For our government, it is really important that we have as low emissions and we are as green for the environment as we can be. So that's probably why we are making 2,000 horsepower electrical cars that only can do like 200 or 300 kilometers on one single battery charge. And those little kids in Africa are still working in cobalt mines. Yeah, it's totally not about money whatsoever. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Anyway, we still have to keep our queen and goddess Greta happy. So, emissions for the 1290. It's now, when it comes to exhausts, both of these inbred off-road, my bread, no. Ah, god dang it, no. Oh, god dang it, no. Woo. So as I was saying, the 1290 and 890 are both equipped with the akrapovic. Now akrapovic has gone a little bit soft, probably has to do with European regulations, because back in my day, like 2 years ago or something, or 3 years ago, you could just like release a nut or a bolt down there, just take the decibel killer out and you're done. And it turns out that these days you have to drill your own holes to get a bolt out that is welded. What the akrapovic? Akrapovic, whatever I need to call you guys. I mean, what's up with that? What's up with we have to drill our own holes to make the motorcycle more noisier? Makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, we're going to start these guys up. Not gonna rev it too hard. It's still a pretty cold engine. So 4,000 RPM, that should do the trick. As for the 1290, of course, these are heavy breather engines. And it doesn't have the decibel killer in it. Yeah, this is a beast. Did you know that if you take this little fob that comes with your KTM 1290 or your keyless go, if you hold it against your fender, it will start? So if your battery is dead or your keyless go doesn't work, it's right here, it's down there. Don't worry about it. I do wish these KTM keys also had like this button and the key flaps out and you can stab some people just in case you get mugged. Pretty hard key, you can probably beat someone up with it, but yeah. Now the 890 still has a key that really slides in easy. So satisfying.
That's what she said!
And you can also shank somebody with. Yeah. The same goes for the gas tank. Look at that. Gee, that's a little bit awkward. I thought it was going to go that way. As for the 1290, it's electronic. And it goes that way. Now the 1290 is equipped with this high-tech spiky pyramid looking thing that takes care of the turn signals. But for some weird reason it gives me no feedback whatsoever when I use it. It's also a little bit painful to the finger. As for the 890, it's got that old school hardcore clicker. Look at that. So much feedback. Doesn't go up, doesn't go down, just a little bit, but like bang, bang. Look at that. Like that, really like that. Now, seating height. Some of you guys already told me in the comments when I was picking this motorcycle up and I recorded it and made a video about it, I was already on my tippy toes when I started it up first time. And you guys are absolutely right. Seat height on this one is 880 millimeters. And guess what? It's the same on the 1290. So you do have the rally seat for the 1290 and the 890 as well. Yeah, it's a little bit more slim, it's a little bit more vibrant for those more nasty taking corners and things like that. So it's a little bit better for off-road use. You also got the comfort seat, the rain covers, you got a lot of things. Also a little bit lower for this one, but still they're off-road bikes with a very long suspension travel. So yeah, you're going to be a little bit more up the ground. That's the downside of it. You get more ground clearance, you're a little bit more up, you get a longer suspension travel, but also you can be a little bit on your tippy toes. But if you're like into some dirt, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna be lower, anyway, so yeah. I got a little less tippy-toey on the 1290, and that's because, well, I got the lowered ergonomic comfort seat. It's like heated and gel coated and things like that. It's a little bit lower, just like a centimeter or something, but it's a really noticeable difference when you have to put your feet on the ground. Now, off-road, you can already tell by looking at this 890. I mean, that front fender, yeah, buddy, that thing is made for off-road. If you look at the 1290, you can already tell, like, that's not really a dirt bike fender. That's a dirt bike fender. That is not. Now, both of these bikes have manual adjustable suspension. So you have to turn some knobs and release some pressure over there, and that's how you adjust it at your comfort. Like I said before, suspension travel, you do get a lot of value for a buck. I mean, this one is like 240 millimeters of suspension travel. You could jump the London Bridge with this thing. Or like my buddy, Gregory Gordine. Whee! 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 This is some good stuff. This is some really good stuff. As for the 1290, it's 220 millimeters. But even that, if you jump this beast so high and so far, you are bottoming that out, dude, what the hell are you doing? Now, both bikes are really good off-road, of course, and I gotta say, that little bit of weight that is extra on the 1290, it's pretty noticeable. I mean, when you get on the 890, it just feels like a dirt bike with way too much horsepower. That makes it just so fun to get it off-road. As for the 1290, it feels more like a comfort Cadillac. You can also take off-road and do some gnarly stuff with. But you know, I'm also not a professional. I'm no Greg Gordine or Chris Birch. I can't jump this thing for like 20-30 meters. So yeah, when it comes to really off-road sketchy stuff, I need the 890 as well. So as for the 890's engine, it doesn't come near the 1290 when it comes to horsepower, and that 60 horsepower difference is a lot. But I mean, up to 100 kilometers an hour or 65 miles an hour, it doesn't really matter. 1290 is just way more powerful when doing over 100 or 65 miles an hour. So if you need a motorcycle, you're gonna do some highways, you need some more power on higher speeds, you need this monster. But I mean, below that, the 890 is just as good. As for wind protection, of course, the 890 is a lot less as the 1290. But yeah, if you're doing off-road, it doesn't really matter. But if you're going to spend like 2, 3, 4 hours on the highway, if you really want to go somewhere, it really adds up. And that thing, yeah, I mean, the wind is not bad, it's pretty good, but still, it's not a 1290. As for the 1290, that's just a Cadillac on wheels. It's just that simple. So in my humble opinion, what the 1290 lacks off-road, it makes up for it on-road. And it makes up for it big time on-road. And of course, what the 890 lacks on-road, it makes up for it off-road. Because this is an off-road beast. Like I said, if you're not a very experienced rider and you do not need like an overpowered 160 heavy beast, well, I really suggest if you want to go some training, hill climbs, you really want to learn how to ride off-road and it's your first or maybe your second adventure motorcycle, absolutely need that one. But if you're thinking like, dude, I've got like a Super Duke R, I've been riding an S1000 RR, I've been riding all these crazy motorcycles and I want an absolute beast that is fun to ride on the highway, I want to have massive amounts of power, I want to do some off-road too, it might be a little bit sketchy, it might be a little bit... It might be sketchy, it might be a little bit hard to do, but I really want to tighten my skills up a lot. With a big and bulky adventure motorcycle, you gotta need that one. And if you guys are wondering which of these two epic inbred off-road motorcycles I would take, as for today, it's gonna be the 890. Don't worry, I won't leave you behind. Oh shoot!